Chapter 6 Random Box. A vampire's hunger can be staved off for a few hours by drinking animal blood, but it takes days to truly satisfy it with human blood. This is an inescapable reality for Kaito now that he had become a vampire. In Mortal Tower, he had an NPC that he used to buy a few vials of blood, but now there was no such option. While still shaken by the idea of having to feed on human blood, and indeed it is disgusting, he knows that it is a vital necessity for his survival. But for the things were pretty clear in his mind, let's avoid it for a while, he thought. As it would be very stupid to attack someone in the security area. 2 days have passed since Kaito woke up, and he was still discovering a few things. First, other people cannot see the new windows that his web link projects, which means that no one else can see the store or the ratings. He got this evidence when he went to ask Mr. Fujinya, the landlord of his building, and was answered by his eldest son. Unfortunately, Mr. Fujinya passed away almost a year ago. Nevertheless, it took a while for his eldest son, named Hasegawa, to be able to travel from a central city to take over his father's business in the Z4 safe area, which not only explained to Kaito why no one broke into his apartment because of the smell and the overdue bills, but also why he didn't see any of his neighbors when he went to the front desk. Anyway, all this made it easier for Kaito to explain his disappearance. He simply told Mr. Fujinya's son that he was on a long trip to visit a distant part of his family in another safe area. Fortunately, Hasegawa was like his father, an uncommunicative and questioning man, so he asked no questions and only promised to turn on the water and light in the apartment in a few hours. On top of that, Kaito discovered the next day that the daily quest that required him to feed himself gave him rewards, just like in a game. Quest Guide, Feeding on Blood, 1/1, completed. Quest Rewards. Choose your reward, skill points, +3, random box, +1, experience bonus, +10%. The first time this came up for Kaito, he thought carefully about the reward options, and despite the temptation to grab a random box, he decided that the skill points would be more valuable to him in the long run. Considering that he can increase any of his physical attributes as long as he has skill points, this was definitely the best option among the three on the first day. You have chosen the reward skill points, +3, do you wish to accept it? Kaito pressed yes with a smile on his face and immediately felt a pulsing energy coursing through his body. In the next blink of an eye, his attribute screen appeared before his face, but Kaito decided not to use any points for the time being. If this works, just like in the game, it's better to wait to have a nice build, he thought. However, Kaito is a curious person, and on the second day, instead of choosing more attribute points, he chose the random box. Warning! You have received a random box. Kaito felt an explosion of excitement after receiving the random box. He wonders what might be inside and decides to open it immediately. With a tap on the random box icon on his interface, the box materializes in front of Kaito. He holds it carefully in the palm of his left hand, feeling the soft texture of a typical gift box. With a quick movement, he opens the lid and a mysterious glow emanates from the box. Inside, Kaito finds a small parchment that is immediately rolled up. Curious, Kaito unwraps the parchment and is amazed to see a detailed map of safe area Z4, where he currently resides. The streets, buildings, and landmarks are meticulously depicted on the map, indicating that it was made with great precision, but he could easily check this with his web link. There is no use for a paper map. Running his eyes lightly over the map, Kaito notices a small symbol between some of the buildings, a symbol that seems to imitate a spiral. A chill runs down Kaito's spine as he realizes that this discovery cannot be a mere coincidence, but just to make sure he is not overthinking things, he checks the online map for the same symbol. After checking, he finds, as he expected, that there is nothing similar to what he saw on the parchment. So Kaito hurries out of the apartment, grabbing only a jacket to cover his arms as he walks towards the location indicated on the map. Safe Area Z4 stretches out before him, revealing a landscape of strange contrasts. Though considered a poor region, it is permeated with elements of modernity and a hint of the strange high-tech city aesthetics, with holographic signs advertising awakened ones, jobs, and essentials such as rations and water. As Kaito wanders the streets of safe area Z4, looking at the weathered buildings and the sandy region surrounding the settlement, he finds graffiti adorning the walls, some cursing the system, others boasting of the discovery of the celestial abode. On the busy streets, Kaito encounters an eclectic mix of people. Exhausted workers rush by, while groups of young men in military uniforms from the compulsory education academy socialize on the sidewalks. Lights flicker above commercial establishments, adding a characteristic glow to the night scene. The sounds of Safe Area Z4 are a strange urban symphony. Flying cars glide through the air, emitting a low hum. Street vendors hawk exotic foods from street carts, from insects to monster meat from the portals, filling the air with tantalizing smells. As Kaito makes his way through the maze of narrow streets, he finds himself immersed in a frenetic, almost nostalgic atmosphere where technology and decadence are intertwined. This place still looks the same, he thought while looking at the other citizens. Rusting lampposts provide dim illumination, contrasting with the bands of colored lights that cut across the night sky. When Kaito finally arrives at the place indicated by the spiral on the map, his heart races as he sees a no-go area further down the street where some people are. Spotlights illuminate the wasteland where, to the young man's surprise, there is a blue portal.